Jerusalem, Acre, and Damascus, the three cities of Assassin's Creed, the game that kicked off the franchise and set the tone for the series' historical playgrounds. It's here, in these cities, that Altair was tasked with dismantling the Templar Order. But why these cities? What made their cultures unique? And how exactly did the team at Ubisoft Montreal bring those characteristics to life? To find out, we're going to take a walk around these cities circa 1191 in the original Assassin's Creed. It's available now, along with more than 100 other games, as part of Uplay Plus. So if this video sparks your interest in returning to the Holy Land or visiting it for the first time, we hope you'll join us.
You've nowhere to run now. Share your secrets with me.
If the Crusaders were going to make any headway, they would first need to capture this important port city. In 1191, the year Assassin's Creed takes place, they did just that. If you control a port city, you control trade, so you're rich, and you can easily reinforce and resupply your troops, so you're well fed and you keep your numbers strong. Visit Acre in-game and you'll see that parts of the city lie in ruin thanks to the Crusaders' recent conquests. Take this minaret for example. Unlike the pristine ones you can find in Jerusalem and Damascus, this one, the only one that exists in the city, has been destroyed. It's a clear signal that Crusaders have driven the Islamic influence out of the city. Climb up to the rooftops and you'll notice how Ubisoft Montreal added subtle architectural details to communicate a city under European Crusader control. Many of the buildings feature heavy, rough masonry and pitched roofs. Pitched roofs are normally reserved for buildings in inclement weather, so snow and rain doesn't accumulate on rooftops. This isn't a problem Acre would likely have. The inclusion of these architectural touches helps communicate the European occupation of the pivotal port city. The final city on our tour is also the first you'll visit, Damascus, the capital of Syria. Without much religious significance for the Crusaders and minimal strategic significance, the Crusaders had little interest in taking this capital. And as a result, it appears with Islamic architecture prevalent throughout. Look no further than the numerous minarets that dot the city. These towers, typically attached to mosques, are used to announce the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. Unlike Acre, here you'll notice the mostly flat roofs, which are much more typical for this region. Be sure not to miss the most important landmark in all of Damascus, the Great Mosque of Damascus, also known as the Umayyad Mosque. Built under the Umayyad dynasty, the same dynasty that originally constructed the Dome of the Rock, the mosque is nearly as old as Islam itself. Today, the building contains the tomb of Salah ad-Din following his death in 1193. While each of these cities differs in landmarks, religious buildings, and architectural details, the team at Ubisoft Montreal wanted players to be able to differentiate between locations when they were deep in a shadowy alley or eavesdropping from a park bench.
What you propose is madness.
You've probably already noticed it by now, but each city has a distinct color palette. As a war-torn city, Acre is portrayed through the lens of deep gray and blue tones. it's meant to appear bleak and ravaged. Damascus stands in stark contrast and appears bright and opulent, with golden yellows and sun-kissed ornate buildings. Jerusalem exists somewhere in the middle, with a wider color range than either of the other cities, symbolizing the variety of cultures held within the city. Assassin's Creed exists within the deep and rich history of our own world. Thanks to the real-world inspirations and settings, knowledge is baked into nearly every aspect of the game. The people, locations, and events that take place in Assassin's Creed are some of history's most influential, and if you pay attention and carefully observe your surroundings, you just might learn a thing or two about them. To explore every inch of Assassin's Creed, sign up for Uplay Plus, and for more on Assassin's Creed, subscribe to this channel and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.